Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this edition of the Locker Room Report, joined as always by head coach Paul Winters. Coach, get the first win of the year last week. Kids wanted to make it a little interesting at times, but I thought it did show some resolve, and I thought there were times that maybe last year the team would have folded, where this year they stepped up and made a play that kept Shaw at an arm's length near the end of the game.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I think, first of all, you called them kids, and that's right. But also the fact that we were able to persevere in the fourth quarter. We've been able to condition and do the things we need to physically to put ourselves in that position, and I think mentally we were strong.
What was the attitude like on the sideline? Because you know, Coach, sometimes you get in that rut and you get the, oh no, here we go again feeling. Was there any of that, or was it everyone, okay, let's put the final nail in the coffin, let's put this team away?
We never had that. We never had anybody that even showed any doubt. Our kids were resilient. They were excited. They were, cheering for the defense. They were cheering for the offense. The sideline was good.
Let's talk about some of the guys that helped you get the win over Shaw. I thought Kendall Williams was fantastic, averaged over 10 yards a carry. He has to be a nice bright spot that when you watched film, you saw how he make the cut, find the hole, and he had to have been one of the better spots offensively.
To say the least, he had a fantastic game. Just broke tackles, found the holes, like you said. And Kendall's a tough guy to tackle, and I think partly because you think, oh, he's small, he's not very strong. He's very strong. And he also is very fast. So you combine those two things, and he's a heck of a player.
I had someone describe it as he runs kind of a lot like Deontay Nicholas would. He sets up his blocks really nicely, and then he finds the hole and he hits it well.
Yeah, it's funny. Deontay Nicholas gave our chapel, and he and Kendall are close. So it was really pretty good comparison.
Defensively, I thought it started up front with the defensive line, got a lot more pressure. They were in the backfield. They might not have always made the sack, but they were keeping the quarterback on his toes. And I think it helped the back seven really in coverage because I thought the big plays that Shaw did have were just really nice throws and catches, and you had to tip their cap to them.
Yeah, you couldn't do anything about it. They threw fades against press coverage, and sometimes you got to know when to press and when not to. And I think the youth of our secondary showed at times. So it's a learning experience for them. But your first point about the guys getting pressure, Charles Ellington, I think, played his best game, and I thought that everybody really worked hard to pressure their quarterback. And we were worried about their quarterback because he was such a scrambler and such a good athlete, and I think we held him to 5 yards.
One guy I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up defensively, Matt Bushman, was a guy that they were worried about blitzing all night, and there were times they even called out when he was blitzing, and it didn't matter. He still ended up, I think on the strip sack, you could see pre-snap, they pointed to him, said, watch out, he's blitzing. Didn't matter, he still made the play.
Yeah, Matt really stepped up, and it was great for him because he's, obviously getting the most playing time in his career, and he's showing why he deserves it. Just doing a fantastic job.
Let's talk about your opponent this week, Wisconsin Lacrosse. People might look at it and go, oh, they're a D3 team. This should be an easier week. That won't be the case when Lacrosse comes to town, will it?
No, it won't. It's hard to compare when you watch tape of a Division III team and going against other Division III or NAIA schools. But we've got tape from last year with them going against Grand Valley, and that game was a battle. Grand Valley was down at halftime. They were really in the third quarter. It was really close, and I think Grand Valley scored a couple touchdowns late to make it look worse than it was. But they battled. They battled really well.
Who are some guys that if you guys are going to get win number 2 on the year, are going to have a big week this Saturday night?
I think you from an offensive standpoint, you look at our skill guys. They have to continue to perform like they did this past weekend. I think our offensive line has to be prepared for any number of pressures because they run a ton of pressures. And from a defensive standpoint, they're a physical football team. We have to be physical up front. So you want our guys to be physical up front, and then you want all those young guys running back there in the secondary to make plays.
I had someone describe Lacrosse to me as it's very similar, at least offensively, to what you guys run here at Wayne State. They're going to put a lot of 12 personnel, and sometimes they'll say, we're running the ball, we dare you to stop us.
Exactly. And they're a big physical team. One of the things I coached at Wisconsin, there's a lot of offensive linemen out there, and they've got some really good offensive linemen. So it's going to be a battle.
Well, Coach, good luck against Lacrosse. Always good talking to you. That was the Locker Room Report. He's head coach Paul Winters. I'm Brady Beedon. You're listening to WDTK, The Patriot.